Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Samira Interviews. I'm Samira, obviously, and today I am joined by Jordan Cruz. Jordan, how you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. I'm just coming off of a pretty big weekend for me, so it's nice to have a little bit of downtime before, the next weekend kind of takes off.
And you've been like very busy. I always see you on social media. You got like show after show. We see you at like Wrestle Prestige, Level Up, like so many places, and you've just been very busy as of late. We saw you had a WWE tryout. You've been on AEW Dark Elevation, working with New Japan, GCW West Coast. You're doing a lot of things. How does that make you feel doing like all these things, being super busy and just like kind of looking back on all that?
Yeah, well, I mean, in wrestling, if you're busy, that's definitely not a bad problem to have. That means you're doing something right. You're making the right connections. You're capitalizing on your opportunities, and that's the way I look at it. Is that I've everywhere's I've gone and wrestled at, I've gotten invited back. It's one thing to get an opportunity somewheres. It's another conversation, like I said, to get welcomed back a second time. That means that you made a good first impression. I feel good. I feel not satisfied, but I'm happy with what I've been able to do, what I bring to the table, and I'm looking to obviously keep growing and hopefully get even more busy.
Yeah, we've seen you showing up to like multiple places multiple times. It's very exciting. And I always like to ask people that go to AEW or WWE or wherever, like, was there somebody that took the time with you at all that like really stuck with you or any advice that they gave you that like keeps you going?
That's a yes, absolutely. Like when you get to places like WWE or AEW, it's a little bit different. It's not like your local independent locker room where you know everyone. These wrestlers, the producers, whatever the job is, they're busy. They're doing their own thing. But I was fortunate enough to have a couple offhand, conversations with different people. First thing that comes to mind is during my tryout, one of my good friends, he's on NXT right now, Idris Inofe. He came from Level Up as well, and he was there on the last day of the tryout. So I kind of had a little extra motivation from him. Kind words from Samoa Joe. I got some very kind words from William Regal while at the WWE tryout that were very, motivating. Additionally, in AEW, I would say more so just sticking around the veterans who I was with. We were all, doing the extra work, but, Vinny Massaro, Ray Rosas, Stu Diz, the list goes on and on of guys who were, being great locker room leaders and very helpful.
Could we possibly see you back there at all anytime soon? Or is this something we got to keep hush hush? You can't really tell me.
Well, I can tell you that there's no set plans, but of course my phone is always on, so I hope that call comes.
Awesome. Hey, if you guys are listening, you better call them.
Thank you.
So speaking of AEW, I have something funny because I know I mentioned this to you before as well, is that I didn't realize it was you the one of the latest times on AEW as you had shaved. And I was like, that was you on AEW, right? And then like I think everybody also had like a mixed reaction. What was your reaction to everybody else reacting to that?
Oh, just well, I can never decide whether I'm gonna have the clean shaven look or grow the beard. Pretty much now I shave when the tapings at Championship Wrestling from Hollywood happen, and then otherwise because I personally just don't like shaving very much. Otherwise, I just kind of let it grow out. But so I mean, it was cool that that alone just got a little reaction. I was also just happy to see the overwhelming support from just friends, peers, coworkers, and acquaintances. And yeah, complete strangers as well. It's always interesting to see. When you get a big opportunity like that. Who's going to know who I am? So I'm not sure, if the world knows who Jordan Cruz is, but I think slowly but surely that's starting to happen.
And definitely, like, you've been busy here on the West Coast, as I see on social media. I'm sure, like, a lot of people, and like you were saying, you never know who's gonna know, and especially like on AEW, people were calling out for you on social media, and that was exciting to see. So, you've done a lot on the West Coast as well. Is there a promotion that you still have yet to debut for that you really want to?
Ooh, that is good. Yes, definitely. I guess I've gotten just about everywhere's on the West Coast now, which is super, cool and stuff. I'm still wanting to grow more. Defy Defy's at the top of the list. They're just, it's insanely competitive the amount of talent they bring in, but that's some place that I hope to be soon. I'd also look at PCW Ultra. That's just an insane show in Los Angeles. Um, yeah, those are the first two that come to mind. I'm sure after this I'll think of more, but I'm always looking to go to any different show. It doesn't matter how big or small. I want to perform.
Another promotion making an impact on the West Coast has been West Coast Pro, GCW's brand. And we've seen you, like I said, you're big here on over on the West Coast, but GCW on the East Coast, we got Atlantic City. Could we ever see you coming over to the East Coast and mixing it up there with GCW?
That would be insane, right? That would be incredible. Um, uh, when on WrestleMania weekend in Texas, one of the collective shows was the LA Fights versus JCW, and that was a blast of a show to be a part of. So I got to meet a lot of the East Coast wrestlers. In fact, there's a few people I already knew, so it was cool to reconnect there. But yeah, I hope that things like that continue. That that cross platform interpromotional wrestling is. I think it's good for it's good for both parties. It's good for both coasts. So yeah, I hope to get out there. I also would love to see some of those East Coast cats come out to the West Coast and see what we do here.
Anybody you got your eyes on specifically?
Ooh, too many. Too many. One guy that I got to work with a little bit and would love to get more time with is Jordan Oliver. Yeah, so it would be a battle of the Jordans there. Every time I watch him wrestle, I think he's a phenomenal athlete and competitor, and I think we would gel pretty well in there.
Speaking of the East Coast, I know New Japan will be returning here very shortly to the East Coast, but you've been working them with them lately, going up against kind of like Team Filthy. Will we see you back there in October when they come back to California?
Ooh, I think there's a very good chance that you will see me on the next, in the near future with New Japan Strong, especially when they're in Los Angeles.
Anybody specifically on, their USA type roster that you really want to get your hands on?
Oh wow, everyone. I don't know if that's an option. Their roster is the absolute top tier of professional wrestling. Off the top of my head, anyone from TMDK, so Shane Haste, Jonah, Bad Dude Tito. We've got to work with a few times, but I would love to wrestle him in my current, with my current skill set and capability level. Fred Rosser is incredible. That would be quite a match to have. The list goes on and on. I could just sit here and go down the roster. I can wrestle them all. That would be cool.
And would you ever want to make the jump over to Japan at some point?
That's, truth be told, my ultimate goal. It doesn't have to be forever, and it could be either just one show. It could be one, or it could be 1,000. It doesn't make a difference to me. But that's my ultimate goal, is to wrestle in Japan.
Anybody specifically over there now that you would choose to wrestle?
Oh, just gracious.
Bringing
I
all
mean,
the
it
hard
goes back.
questions.
I know. It goes back to anyone and everyone. I want to. I just want to be in the ring, no matter what, no matter who it's against. I will say that I pride myself in being a competitive person. Of course, all in good fun, but I want to wrestle the best. So yes, I would love to get in there with some of the best in the world. And, that Japan has to offer, if that was a possibility. I mean, never say never. So yeah, someone like Hiroshi Tanahashi or Jay White, or and yes, these are big names. It's a big jump, but why not reach for the stars?
Do you get to like talk with any of them when you're at, the New Japan tapings here in like California at all?
Yes, absolutely. Everybody has been incredibly friendly. Both those guys were incredibly nice and had great wisdom and advice when they were at the Japanese tapings. Juice Robinson is incredible. Fred Rosser, already mentioned him. Yeah, like top to bottom, everybody's nice, everybody's helpful. It's kind of a team effort, which is really cool.
And another promotion we're gonna speak of because oh my gosh, we could like dissect every single promotion you've been to because you're doing so much and it's amazing. But next one I want to speak of is NWA. We haven't seen you there for a bit, but is there still anybody there? They've been having new people. We still got some old people there. Is there anybody you have your eyes there on that you would like to fight, like if you were to ever return there?
Ooh, I mean, I love what they're doing with like the kind of light heavyweight stuff because I mean look at their the top level there as far as their athletes go. Their heavyweights are all massive human beings, which is awesome. That's that old school. That's what pro wrestling is larger than life figures, and I love wrestling those guys as well. But it would be great to get in there and mix in with some of the more light heavyweight competitors on their roster. I think I would fit like a glove as far as that goes. One name that comes to mind is Homicide, who also is coincidentally one of my trainer B Boy's former partners and former friends. So it would be you know like a full circle moment to get to wrestle him someday.
Do you have any goals by the end of 2022 yet you still have to accomplish or anything at the top of your head? Maybe it is Homicide a match with him before the end of 2022?
Sure, I'll put that up there. I've accomplished a great portion of my goals, which was to get to New Japan, and continue to grow on the West Coast. And I think I've done that. I think I've made myself not to put myself over, but a staple of West Coast. Like when you think of West Coast wrestling, you'd be hard pressed to not think of me, at least in some capacity. I hope to continue to do that. My goals are high. I want to now spread that out. I'm trying to get out of the country now, whether that's Mexico, which is pretty close for me, or Canada, which is a bit of a trip. Expand to the East Coast more. I've had, I've been able to dip my toes in the water in the East Coast, but I haven't been able to fully jump into the pool. So I definitely want to get over to the East Coast whenever that's possible. The Midwest, the South, I would love to wrestle in Louisiana. That's where I was born and raised. So that would be great as well. Yeah, just wrestle everywhere, I guess, is my goal.
Now, were you ever like starstruck by anybody that you've worked with?
Oh, certainly. First that would come to mind was Davey Richards. It was also probably one of my best matches I've ever had. He was incredible, and he is incredible. He's one of, if not the greatest wrestler in the world, and one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, in my opinion. And I didn't even know I was wrestling him. It's just funny how that worked out. I didn't know until I got there that day. So maybe it's kind of for the best because I didn't have time to like overthink it and get nervous. But when I was in the ring with him, I was certainly a little bit awestruck at first. But of course, when the bell rings, you have to snap out of it and put your game face on. So I did that as well.
So what I don't know if so many people know, but besides professional wrestling, you are a personal trainer. What's it like being a personal trainer?
Well, I love it. It's another rewarding, line of work. If very people oriented, so I get to meet a lot of new and different faces each and every day. Feel like I'm doing something good. I'm working with people. Yes, whatever their goal is, whether that's lose weight. Some people their goal is to gain weight. Some people just want to feel better. Some people have different injuries that you can rehabilitate. So helping people get to where they want to go. It's a wonderful feeling. It's like a good, nice sense of accomplishment. Also, it's a very easy job to work and have that flexibility when it comes to wrestling. So I'm able to wrestle as much or as little as I choose. Typically, it tends to be as much as I want, and not as little. Um, But yeah, no, it's a great field to be in.
Have your clients ever like recognized you before?
I haven't had any clients recognize me. I think I've had one or two like run-ins at the grocery store and stuff, which is kind of random but kind of funny. It's like I feel like a little minor celebrity when that happens. My clients do eventually figure out what I do, and then they're super supportive of that as well. They're always asking me how my shows went and what I have coming up, which is fun.
Do they ask you to show them any wrestling moves at all?
I've gotten that on occasion, but I, I, a magician doesn't reveal his secrets, so I won't do that.
Question I like to ask everybody before I ask like the fun questions of like the end of my interviews. It's like, where do you see yourself within the next year?
There's so many different paths, that I feel like any of us can go. Obviously, the ultimate goal is to get signed. I think it doesn't have to be any wrestler's goals, but if your goal is to, I use this term loosely, to make it, then that should be the goal, to get on television, to have a contract somewhere, to have something when my career is done to show for all my hard work. So though, yes, that's certainly a goal of mine, but I can't just hang my cap on whether that happens or not. If it's meant to be, it will be. So beyond just that, I would say again, continuing to grow and be the best wrestler I can possibly be, to have the standout performance each and every time I step foot in the ring. No matter who's on the card, I would like to be the match that people are talking about afterwards. Just be memorable, stand out, and continue to grow. Yeah.
Would you ever want to like open your own school one day?
I feel like that would be a long way off if that were the case. Fortunately for me, I have a hand in training already. I'm one of the coaches at Level Up Pro Wrestling in San Diego, so I'm going to give that the very quick shout out. Obviously, our head coach is B Boy, but we have probably 15 or so classes each and every week. We have a heavy number of classes. He can't do them all. So between myself, Hunter Freeman, J2 Mattioli, Michael Hopkins, Sweet Robin Shaw, we all are his little proteges, his pupils that now help him teach. And so I love training at wrestling. It's a beautiful thing to see people grow each and every day. So yeah, maybe one day I'll have my own school, but I'm happy at Level Up for now.
Oh, and that sounds like so cool. And I wish you the best of luck also with where you think you see yourself in the next year. You're doing amazing, and I think you could do it.
Thank you. I'll do my best.
So I always like to end with some fun questions. And as we are now coming up into October, so Halloween, are you excited for Halloween? Are you a Halloween person?
I am a Halloween person, and I've got a couple shows uh, uh, that weekend as well. So I'm looking forward to the festivities. Looking forward to the wrestling events, and then I still do need to figure out if I'm going to do anything special as far as dressing up for them. But we'll see.
That was my next question. I was going to ask, are you going to dress up or not?
Yes, I certainly will. It's just a matter of how different I get. Last year, I did a show on Halloween Day, at night, and I dressed up as Bane from Batman, specifically the Dark Knight Rises movie, and that was a ton of fun to do. So I'm looking forward to see how creative I get this time around.
So what was your like favorite candy growing up getting as a kid?
All of them. My personal favorite will always be Reese's peanut butter cups. Um, Something about them. I don't know what it is, but that's always been my go-to every time.
I feel you. I'm a chocolate peanut butter person as well, so that's like
Perfect.
top tier.
Yeah, it doesn't get better.
So, my last question. It's very controversial. This is gonna be hard. Okay, are you ready?
I'm ready. I think
Candy corn or no?
candy corn. No,
Yeah, do you like it or no?
I'm good. Yeah, no, definitely no. I, oh no, that wasn't the reaction you wanted,
No,
but
that wasn't the right answer.
that was the wrong answer. Okay, well, definitely yes. Candy corn, yes. I,
Now, why don't you like candy corn?
I, it's not like I haven't tried it, but and admittedly, I can be picky at times, but yeah, no. Every time I've tried it, I just said it doesn't do it for me. I don't know. Nothing wrong with it. I'm not a hater, but it's a no for me.
What about the pumpkin stuff? Or you're like, no, that's all annoying.
I'm not super. I mean, like pumpkin pie and stuff. Yeah, totally in. I'm into pumpkins flavored things. Yeah, yeah, I can dig it.
I just like casually have like a pumpkin spice latte squishmallow behind me.
Oh yeah, I think we have your answer as to what you like.
Yeah, I always have to ask now about this, controversial candy corn question. I didn't realize how controversial it was until you see it all over the internet where people are fighting if they like it or not. And I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, no. I mean, well, that just people just fight just for the sake of fighting on the internet sometimes. But yeah, you'd be surprised what all of a sudden will become a controversial topic.
About candy, apparently.
Yeah, I know, right?
Well, Jordan, thank you so much for joining me today. Can you tell everybody where they can find you on social media and your upcoming shows?
Yeah, absolutely. On social media, Jordan Cruz Pro on both Instagram and Twitter. You can just you add me on Facebook at Jordan Cruz. If you don't know who I am and don't want to look at that, want to see the real stuff, see the matches, I'm on YouTube as well. I've got matches all over the place. IWTV. You can check me out, whether it be West Coast Pro, Ground Zero, Prestige, Without a Cause in Seattle. So I'm all over the place. I'm not super duper hard to find online. Upcoming shows on this Friday, if you're around the Chatsworth area, just north of Los Angeles. I'm at Millennium Pro Wrestling. Those are some of the funnest and some of my favorite shows to ever be a part of. They run every single Friday as well. This Saturday, my home promotion, Level Up Pro Wrestling, has an event going on down in San Diego. So make sure you come out and see that if you're in the San Diego area. We get upwards of 250 something. We've gotten close to 300 before. Let's try to get over that number next time. Yeah, that's it for me for this weekend. So semi-local weekend, which is nice. But yeah, we'll see what comes in the next couple weeks after that.
All social media are probably here on the screen as well as in the description below with any other links. Again, Jordan, thank you so much for joining me today and good luck.
Yeah, thank you, and the same to you.
Thank you.